So my daughter Brooke just called and she told me something pretty exciting. If you saw our last video, our introductory video for our farm that we just put out, then you know that we were expecting something pretty soon that I'm about to show you guys. But if you didn't see it and you want to go back and see our introductory video, I'm going to include a link here so you can go back and check that out. But let's go. I just pulled up. I drove across the field because we are living next door to where we are building all of our homestead and our new house, our new construction. So I just had to drive about a quarter of a mile down the road. And let's see what we have. What you got?
Oh my gosh.
They're not even squealing yet. What in the world? Usually they're screaming when you pick them up.
Here. She had them over there.
Does she have them in the hay bale?
No.
We were expecting that she might have them up in that hay bale.
Getting my finger chewed.
Oh my goodness.
Pretty little things.
That's the one.
That's a little one? How many does she have?
I don't remember. 8 or 9. I want to go get one.
Well, let's go see them. Hey, Brittany, stay back, hon. Stay back away from her.
So there's 11, you say?
What'd you think, Britt? Aren't they cute?
Here comes O.
He's fine. They've got more white on them this time because of them being mixed with the hemp.
You okay?
Adorable. There's just that little baby.
Good job. You had all them today?
So John came out here this morning and checked on all the pigs, fed the animals, and our mama pig was still nice and fat and pregnant. And then went to softball games, I went to church, and then just running around doing some grocery errands. Came back, so it was just a few hours later, and she has 11 babies, and they're all clean and dry. So the birthing process for a pig, it happens really quickly.
Pig.
They're getting in to cool off. Look at him nosing right there.
Buddy. Like, come give me a good scratching while I'm laying here in the mud.
Nah, I'll pass.
Hey. Hey, pig. What are you doing? Oh.
See, and that is exactly why.
I'll wipe it on you. You want it?
No, thank you. And we have a tractor stuck. Is the battery dead?
Oh, yeah. It just buzzes. I gotta get the jumper cable.
And look who got the tractor going. Brought out the jumper cables.
He won't lift up all the way.
It's been sitting in my driveway for a while and everybody's having to go around it. Glad to get it out of here. not good? Ain't got no brakes, of course. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, that reminds me of one of my favorite episodes of the Beverly Hillbillies. I don't know if you've ever watched that show, but you should. But there is this episode where Jethro is coming in hot with no brakes, and his mom says, "Jethro, I thought I told you to get rid of those darn no good brakes." And he says, "I did, Ma. That's how come we ain't got none." That's my son. Well, now we are up at the house. We've gone through and checked all of the animals and made sure that everybody is still good on water in this summer heat. And we are up here, we're ready to paint. So it's the first painting that we are doing on the house. We need to prime it, but we're not using an actual primer, not a real primer. We're just needing something that these walls, because they're fresh walls. They just got textured. I don't know if you can see the texture on there. We did a light knockdown. It's kind of hard to see. Really liking the way that they look. But they will just absolutely soak up all the paint that you put on them. So even if you get a paint and primer combo, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, it's gonna soak up so much of that paint, and that's more like expensive paint. So we got some really just cheap, plain white paint that came in a 5-gallon bucket from Lowe's. It was something like $42, $43. It was recommended to me by the gentleman at the paint department that was helping me. So we're just spraying that on as kind of our base coat, and then we're gonna actually add our color on top of that, but we're definitely not gonna get to the color today. So just this white base paint that we're gonna put on. But I'm not really crazy about having my hair covered in white paint because I think it might make me look a little gray if I try to go into town and have all these little white paint pieces all in my hair. So I picked up something at the store. These are just like shower cap things, and I'm gonna put one on to keep myself from getting white paint all in my hair. There's a bunch of these in this package. Here goes. I know it's smelling beautiful. Ooh, I look like a lunch lady. Nice. Let's get to it. So John is in here. We've got a sprayer. He is in the process of spraying all this paint on the wall. And I am about to come behind him and roll it just so that we don't have any runs or a whole bunch in one area and not enough in another. And this is the paint that we are using. I know somebody is going to ask about this. This is just a plain, cheap white paint that we are adding onto the wall. Okay, now that we've got this base of our white paint going on these walls, we can kind of see how it's doing. And all in all, it's looking good. Of course, this obviously is not gonna be any kind of final coat, but it looks fairly even compared to what my mom's house was looking at like last week. we were over there helping her, and she decided to go ahead and do the primer, like a real primer, instead of just this flat white that we're doing. And it took about 2 coats of the primer to actually get the same result as it looks like we're getting with this flat white. And the primer was a lot more expensive, so I feel like we're saving some money. Well, we pretty much finished all of the priming or the base coat paint that we were doing last night on our house, and it seemed to be turning out pretty good. We're really pleased with it. We've just now started painting the real wall color on, and it's covering very well, pretty much just with 1 coat of paint. And we ran out of daylight last night to show you a lot of our normal everyday farm chores. So we thought we would come out here and show you guys just how we are feeding the horses, some of the things we do, and why we do what we do. Somebody just knocked over. He just knocked over the feed. Cray Cray. That's our chicken, Cray Cray. We actually have his dad. He was Hey Hey, like Hey Hey on Moana, and we hatched this guy right here. So he's like Cray Cray 2.0, or Hey Hey 2.0. We called him Cray Cray. So Brooke is preparing the horse feed. What do you have here in your mixture?
I have senior feed, alfalfa pellets, and beet pulp. And I soak it because horses can choke on their feed. So we just soak it for our senior horses.
And when you say choke, you're not meaning like choke, like can't get air.
Yeah, the food gets clogged up in their esophagus.
Yeah, so it gets too dry, and if they swallow it and it is staying in their throat, it gets a little bit damp with all the mucus that's in their throat, it can clog up their throat, and then they can't eat or drink. So we have to soak it like this. It'll take a little while to prepare it like this for it to soak all the way through the alfalfa pellets though. So all the horses have come up to the top of the field here. They heard Brooke working outside, and they know that something good usually follows. She's dragging the trough over here, getting it all cleaned out and ready for them. But this is Dottie. She's the only mare that we have in the pasture, the Palomino here. She's technically my horse, but I just rarely ride. I love looking at the horses. I love brushing the horses. I don't particularly like riding the horses. There's something that just makes me feel like out of control when I'm on a horse. I'm just a little bit afraid of them. And I'm trying to work it out though, trying to face my fears. But I got Dottie this last fall, winter. So she's our newest horse.
Like January.
Not like January. And then we also have Watson. He is, I believe, our youngest horse. He's super sweet. Yeah, he's like 5-ish years old. But he is a very kind of in your pocket type of horse. He's a sweet boy. He's not wanting to be very sweet at the moment. He's like, where is my food? If you're not coming to give me some food, then leave me alone. And this is Shooter. And Shooter is an old boy. And we are currently having a little bit of trouble keeping weight on Shooter. He is like almost 23 years old now. He was the first horse that we bought. And this was Brooke's first horse that she's had since she was around 11, I think 11 years old. Behind him is Rio, the buckskin. This guy is the one that she rides in the rodeo. She rides on a drill team. And they also set pivots and stuff like that. So Rio is her horse that she rides most often. Hey there, bud. And then back there, the paint is Bourbon. Bourbon has one blue eye. It's kind of cool looking, but because Bourbon has a lot of white on him and on his face, he sunburns very easily, and there's plenty of shade out here in the pasture. You can't really see a lot, but there is. It's on down here. There's some big trees. They can get under them, but they just choose not to. They stand out in the sun, and he gets his poor little face sunburned, especially around his eyes. So we can put, actually we put Bordeaux's butt paste on it, which is, if you know what that is, if you've ever had a baby, you probably know what that is, but it's just like a diaper rash cream. It stays on better than a sunblock. That's what they recommend to put on animals, and we've done that for our goats in the past too. We've done that for him, but I mean, he's an animal, he rubs it off, it's just not that effective for him. So poor Bourbon is always walking around with like flaky skin. Hi, Austin.
Hi.
Austin just got here on the tractor. Oh, here she comes.
I'm gonna put water in this.
Dottie's like, I see a bucket of something.
See?
Oh yeah, she set the bucket down. Everybody's like, what is that? What is that? Even the chicken. What is that? So this is the rice bran that we bought, wasn't it? Okay, so rice bran. We found a heck of a deal on some rice bran at our local co-op, and it was last year's rice bran, but it's still good. It's in the bags. It happens to be peanut butter flavored rice bran. We got it for some deer. They're gonna love it. We got it for the horses. We hope that they love it, because the ones that need a little bit of extra fat on them, Dottie needs extra fat built up for the wintertime. We're planning on breeding her, and we want to make sure that she just stays in really good body condition, more fat than probably what she needs on her body. I'd rather have a plump horse than one that's a little too skinny. Shooter definitely needs it, because like I just said, he's getting a little too skinny. We're just really having trouble keeping weight on him. We've tried wormers. He's on grass all the time. He, gets hay. It's just...
His teeth have been floated recently.
Yes, his teeth have been floated. Actually, Brooke just passed her certification. She's been training around Arkansas. You went up to Missouri and through Oklahoma. Did you do any in Kansas? Kansas City, but so she is actually an equine dentist now, and so she can do that herself. So we keep a close watch on all of that. So that's not the problem. It's mainly his age. He's a little bit picky. You wouldn't think a horse would be picky, but he's a little finicky about what he eats. So we're really hoping that he likes the rice bran. So she's wetting the rice bran down for the same reason that it doesn't choke them up. And they're just gonna slurp it up, hopefully. Roxy, are you gonna try to get some? Are you gonna get some? Oh yeah! Are you gonna get some? Are you gonna get some?
She'd probably eat it.
I bet she would. It's peanut butter flavored.
Here, let me just get a little bit on my finger and see if she'll...
Try it? You want to try it? Is that good? Oh, that is good.
Like that? Oh my gosh.
Oh no, now her head's gonna be trying to go to the bucket. Are you gonna be looking for more?
I don't... Oh my.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
like,
she
that was
likes
really good. Oh yeah,
no.
where's that coming from? Uh-oh. She's getting it out of the bucket, or around the bucket. She's licking it. That's what I like to do to the brownie bowl. That's good stuff, isn't it, Roxy? It's good stuff.
I didn't expect her to actually like that.
Oh my goodness. She better not be filling up on that hair. Come on, you don't need all that. You don't need all that. She's
here.
probably get sick. A little bite is okay.
She just shoved her face in that.
Yeah, she likes it.
It's like cake batter to her.
You don't need it. You don't need extra fat. You're good. You're good the way you are.
Fat rolls.
It's gonna be interesting getting this in here.
Oh, there she comes.
No. Go back. Go back. No.
This is an electric fence, and Brooke did just turn it off. So otherwise, we would have been hearing her scream.
Let's go turn it on while she's not looking.
Oh, that's just mean.
Everything's pretty well mixed.
You can't have it.
Barely anything.
I guess you're gonna eat the bucket.
Bourbon, you don't need to be any fatter.
Wonder how long it'll take them to eat this.
No, there's 5 scoops of it.
Looks like everybody likes it.
I'll leave.
They're doing okay, but this Shooter's the main one that needs it, and he's the one that's kind of back off to the side.
I'll get him some extra.
And speaking of that, that is probably the biggest problem with his weight. Background, you hear Dottie slurping. Shooter over here eating his food too. We've got him all separated out just because he was just not getting what he needed. And with the other horses, they were just kind of being bullies, and he needs to put on the weight, so he's over here with his own bowl. And we made it back inside. All of our horse feeding chores are done for the evening, and it's time to just do a little bit of relaxing. But we're so glad that you guys came by, join us again for another video, and
like and subscribe and ring
that notification bell so you don't miss any of our content.
did you just snort?
He just snorted.
Y'all have a blessed day and come back real soon.
Bye.
Bye.